This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to the Clear Lines training session. I'm your host, Kipp Cohen. It is Thursday, August 1st, 2019. Here for the next 50 to 60 minutes to cover the Clear Lines indicator running on the Medved Trader platform. This is a twice weekly training session every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern, geared for the subscribers of the Clear Lines indicator or for those that have interest in subscribing to Clear Lines or learning more about it. This session is recorded, will be posted to the equity-alerts.com YouTube page. If you have specific questions for me, I please ask that you submit them through the GoToMeeting player in the chat box. You're also welcome to send me an email at kip@equity-alerts.com, or you can text me on my cell phone even if you'd like to. This afternoon, I wanted to spend some additional time talking about the Qs. This was a subject that we covered on Tuesday, trading the Qs using the Clear Lines indicator. And it's been going really well. So I figured why not continue with that subject. And if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, please don't hesitate to ask. This is supposed to be a user-driven session, excuse me. For anybody that might be a first-time listener, just to give you a real quick background on myself, I was with WiseTrade for 17 years. WiseTrade is a trend analysis software company, and they went through multiple acquisitions. Their last acquisition by Ally Bank to become part of Ally Invest ended up in a business decision to close the company 1 year ago, roughly. I partnered with Jim Chanel and Lindsay Perry, both former WiseTrade customers, and joined forces with them to do equity alerts through equity-alerts.com. Actually, they were already in business for about 3 years. We had originally were going to start the company a while back, and I could not step away from WiseTrade, so they went ahead without me. And then I joined back up with them at the closing of WiseTrade. Clear Lines is a separate company owned by Clear Trading Systems, which I own with a couple of partners and different partners. My partners are a developer that actually used to work for WiseTrade that currently works for a brokerage firm, and a professional trader slash developer of trading indicators. She and I have been collaborating for about 7 years on some other projects, along with our programmer. He joined us about 5.5 years ago. And so the Clear Lines was our first product that was developed to fill the void where WiseTrade red and green lines went away, basically. And then we have other projects that we're working on, other indicators and proprietary systems that we're working on as well. So that's kind of a quick overview of me and what I'm doing. I broadcast every morning starting at 9 o'clock Eastern for our equity alerts. Actually, I start researching at 7:30 Eastern and then go live at 9 o'clock Eastern in our daily webinar. And we watch the markets. We look for high momentum stocks, poppers and dropper stocks gapping up big or down on news or earnings. We look to trade those at the open. And then we look for other trades throughout the day based on some of those momentum trades. And one thing that I've been focused on the last couple of weeks, I've kind of circled back around to the Qs for a lot of reasons. Right, Frank, it is a little early for you, isn't it? I wanted to focus on the Qs for a couple different reasons. For me personally, it is rather difficult to trade while I'm on my webinar, to trade my live account, and just because I have so many things going on at one time, and the trades I do in the webinar personally for equities are demo trades. My partners, Jim and Lindsay, trading live. Of course, they're able to focus on that because they're not broadcasting like I am. So I wanted to pick one thing that I knew I could not have to be overly hyper focused on, but I could keep an eye on another screen. And if it met my criteria at some point during the day, I would look to make a trade on it. The other reason I selected the Qs, there's several reasons. One is I wanted something that I knew anybody could trade, and they could start with a little bit of money. You can open a trading account, get options permissions, and trade with a couple $1,000s to start. You don't need a huge account. The Qs are very fluid. They move around. They have trading range. The options trade on a weekly basis. They have usually pretty tight spreads between the bid and ask. They're very liquid, so getting in and getting out is not an issue. It's just really probably one of the best vehicles to trade actively. And so I figured this is something good. So I've started giving alerts for my Qs trades in the webinar. They are all live trades out of my TD Ameritrade account. I am so far I'm 100% over the last couple of weeks. I have not had a loser yet. And on Tuesday, I kind of went into a little more detail talking about some of the indicators that we use and what I look for. I follow, obviously, my clear lines. I utilize, as you can see, a handful of other indicators, different pivot points, the DMARC pivot, the Fibonacci pivot, and the daily pivots. I look at Bollinger Bands. I look at VWAP. There's a lot of different things I'm looking at. This morning, I gave out a trade. I was watching the Qs, and I'm gonna kind of expand upon this 3-minute and go to 100 intervals. But this morning, we were looking at the Qs. They got pretty topped out after that big run up, and I called out in the webinar. I said I'm taking a little chance here. I'm going to buy only 5 puts. I'm going to limit my risk. I bought the 194 puts, and I spent a total of $345 on those puts. And again, just strictly for, and my intentions were to hold them overnight, ride them through to tomorrow to see what the market does. And and I intend to continue to hold. I'm still in them, and I continue to hold them. I'm going to hold them overnight, because that's something I have not done yet, and I'm up so much anyways that I might as well just hang tight for one more day. They're the weekly options. They do expire tomorrow, but they're so deep in the money right now. They're now $4 into the money. So the puts that I paid $345 for, currently are, hold on. Worth over $2,000. So I'm currently in a 516% gain on those options, and I'm going to hold them overnight, because if this market continues lower, if it breaks down and continues lower, it could be another 2 or 3 points on the Qs. So, but for a $345 investment, that's not a bad return. Now, obviously, this was pure luck that the market ended up tanking so much, I guess. It's pure luck. But that does happen once in a blue moon. And so just we'll see what happens. So let's talk a little bit about further about the Qs, and let me open up the option chain. So one of the great things about the Medved platform, and I didn't go into too much detail about that, but we partnered with Medved Trader for a couple of reasons. The biggest reason initially was because of their relationship with Ally Invest. A lot of our customers were our Ally Invest customers, and a lot of the equity alerts and Clearlines customers. And Medved Trader offers their platform for those that have an account with Ally Invest at no charge, just the platform. If you don't have an account with Ally Invest, they give you 30 days free, and then it's $19.99 a month just to use their platform. And they integrate with a lot of brokers. That was the other advantage. They integrate obviously with Ally, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, and Interactive Brokers. If you're in Canada, they integrate with Questrade. Their platform is very robust. It's modular, so you can customize it. I find it extremely powerful. There's so many things that you can do with it. If you have an account with someone like a Schwab or a Fidelity, they don't integrate, so you would additionally have to either open a secondary account with one of the integrated brokers to get data, or you would have to subscribe to a third-party data feed, which runs about $20 odd a month. And then on top of that, I do have a $59 a month fee for my indicator, Clearlines indicator, and the ongoing training that I provide, the twice weekly sessions that I provide. That fee is to offset that, along with the support that I provide. New users of the Clearlines do get an initial phone consultation where I remote into your computer, help you set up the platform, customize it to your liking, give you about an hour overview. So that lays into some of that cost, and then I provide ongoing support of the product, of the Clearlines, and some of the Medved. Medved does their own support strictly through email. They do not offer phone-based support, not at this time, but they are very responsive. And our relationship with them has been great because they've been responsive to our needs. They've made adjustments and changes to the software based on what our clients have asked for. So that's kind of how it all comes together as far as utilizing clear lines. Any questions at this point? Any questions? So one of the great things about clear lines and the Medved platform or the Medved platform is that it does integrate with a handful of different brokers. So you can see I have it integrated with TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, MB, Ally MB Trading, Ally Invest. So there's multiple accounts and you can trade from multiple accounts. You can switch different accounts, or you can have different charts that are tied to different accounts. It's pretty cool how you can do all that. For those that like to trade options, right click from any chart and you can pull up the option chain. Actually, let me do this with the Qs. So you get all the option chains. You can trade directly from the option chain chart. So here's my 194 puts. They're currently worth 375 by 386. So if I wanted to trade this, I can right click and go to trade. That'll open up a trade ticket. And I can set a limit or a market order to buy or sell those puts. You click how many contracts I want to trade. So you can chart trade, you can trade from a trade ticket. There's multiple ways you can enter trades using the platform. So let's see if we can find something to actually trade right now, to see if there's something interesting. Maybe we can put in just to show you how it works for those that have not seen it. Might not be a good time for it, but we can always try. Market's trying to bounce a little bit here off the lows. The indicators, again, that I use, your left charts are 1 minute. The right charts are supposed to be 3 minutes, 3-minute charts. And then off on another screen, I have a 5-minute. The 1 minute has obviously volume. It has my clear lines. It has pivot point, parabolic stop and reverse. It has DMARC pivot, Fibonacci pivot, RSI. And the RSI is right here, so I can tell when it's overbought or oversold. The 3-minute chart has also volume, clear lines, pivot point, volume weighted average price. That's a good indicator for potential targets. DMARC pivot, Fibonacci pivot, Bollinger Bands, and also ATR trailing stop. And then my 5-minute just has the daily pivots and the VWAP along with the clear lines and the volume, and that's it. I keep the 5 a little cleaner because sometimes I use the 5 to switch to a 15 and draw Fibonacci levels. That's also one of the things we do is we'll go to a 15-minute chart. We'll draw the first 15-minute fib. This morning, we would have drawn it this way when it broke up. Now that it's flipped the opposite direction, we draw it from the bottom of the first 15 up, and then go back to my 3-minute, and you'll see we're kind of finding some support here on the 200% fib level. We dip below it, but we're kind of finding some support. Can you view and trade the option strike from a price chart, the same as trading from the stock chart? So I'm going to say, so you can't do it from here. You can't do it from this window. You have to open the option chain, and then you can trade either by going to no, I think you have to do it from the actual option chain. Right click and then trade that option chain. Now, my broker does not give me, they do have charts for options, but my broker does not offer that. Hold on, let me see if we can do. Okay, so I can go here and then click trade. Yeah, so I can create a trade ticket from the option chart, but I don't see the option. So hold on, let me see if this works because I have not tried this. Okay, so I could click that and then click buy. Yeah, I'm sorry. So yes, you can actually trade options from the chart. See, to limit at 160. You just have to know what price. Yes, you can do that. If my broker gave quotes for the, if it gave the data, for the actual option chain chart, then I could use that. But to answer your question, yes, you can actually trade from the chart. I hadn't done this before, so I didn't know if you could do it or not. But yes, you can, and you can either do it right here, or you can right click, or you can click buy. You know, but it has to be of the option chain you're trading. It has to be either the chart or from the option chain list, one or the other. Okay, so Ann would like me to show how to enter a bracket order on the chart. All right, so let's put in a trade, and I'm just going to randomly, I'm just doing this for educational purposes. I'm going to put a short on Qualcomm here so she can see, and then let me blow up, expand my chart. So I put in a short at 70.99 on Qualcomm. Then since I'm short, I want to buy. So I click the B. I want to make sure I have bracket selected. See, I have bracket on the order type. If you right click, if you put your mouse over the orders and right click, you can see what order types are available from your broker. So this allows for bracket, trailing stops. All right, so I click the B for buy, and it's going to put the capsule on the chart. And I can scroll the capsule up and down. Now, once I decide where I want to set the first side of the trade, and it can be either the limit or the stop, it doesn't matter. So let's set a stop up above VWAP, okay? So once I pick that spot, I push my left mouse and hold it down, all right? As I hold it, then I scroll the mouse lower so I can find my target. So let's say we want to target down near the low of the day. Then I can release my mouse. Now, even once I've done this, I can actually put my mouse over either line, hold down the left button, and I can adjust where I move it to. I can do that with both lines. The really great thing about the platform is it shows you on the chart what your gain or loss will be depending on where you set your stop and your limit. So it says here, if my stop at put my stop here at 71.32, I'm going to lose $66. If I set my limit down here, I'm going to make $86. Okay. I can also double click on the price and I can adjust it from here. I can move it up or down, click the check, and then once I'm ready to commit the order, I have to check this button, send order to broker. So now the order is committed. It is set at the broker. I have a stop loss at 71.32 and a take profit at 70.48. And you can see on your chart right here in green, 70.32 and 70.48. Once I have committed that order, I can quickly change it. All I have to do is either double click on the price and I can adjust the price up or down, or I can put my mouse on that green line, hold down the left button, and then I can readjust where I'm setting that stop or that limit to take profit. Once I've moved it, I still have to hit the M to modify the order. And then boom, instant change. It is so quick to be able to make these changes on the chart while it's moving. This is amazing when you are in a trade that's moving fast and you need to just move that down and lock in that profit. You know, you want to, here's the cool thing. In essence, you can create a bracket with a trailing stop, but it's a manual trail. That's what I do. I create a bracket with a manual trailing stop. I'm the manual. I'm the one moving the stop down. Once I've adjusted it, then I modify it. Just click the little M. If I decide I just need to get out right now, it's moving so fast, there's a little button here. It looks like a little fire, flatten. As soon as I hit that, it's going to exit the trade. It's going to cancel those other orders, the stop and the limit, and it's going to exit the position. Or if I want to turn it the other way, if I think, oh my God, I went the wrong way, this thing's running, I want to turn it, I can hit the reverse. It exits and turns the other way. See? It just put me in long. Took out my short and put me in long. Which is great when you've been in something that's like moved huge in your favor and you see it hit a top or a bottom and you're like, man, I just want to go the opposite direction. Just hit that reverse button and it flips the trade, exits the whatever side. If you're long or short, exits it, and puts you in the other direction, the opposite direction that you were in. Again, for those of you that are in stocks that are moving crazy fast, or on days like this where the market just imploded, and then you saw a bottom and you're like, I need to get long. Boom, flip it the other way, flip that script. And then you got to get out in a hurry. Boom, flatten that puppy and you're out. This is so easy. Now, the one thing that I've done is these buttons are on the trading screen right here. Okay. You can have that opened. You can keep it like this by double clicking on trading. I don't like that because it takes up chart space. So what I've done is I've created hotkeys for my quick access toolbar. So the software has an option to where your quick access toolbar shows up. You can either have it way up here at the top, which I really don't like, or you can put it down below the ribbon, which I like. And then you can pick whatever you want on your quick access toolbar. So all these buttons that you see, frequency, which is my minutes, period, which is the time frame, how far back in each chart goes, the number of shares, the buy, the sell, the flat and the reverse, the hide primary, which turns my candles on and off, my Fibonacci, my new chart, my line, my eraser, custom frequency. These I all added. If you find any one of these buttons on any one of these tabs, if you put your mouse over any button and right click, you can see an option to add it to the quick access toolbar. That's all you have to do. Now, what you want to make sure you do, though, is that you put it in the right order that you want them. That's the only thing you cannot do. You can't like move. It doesn't let you like grab it and move it. I wish it did, but it doesn't. So decide first on what order you want everything in, and then start adding your hotkeys to your quick access toolbar. Love it. So I just picked the ones that I use the most. These are the buttons that I use the most frequent, and I put them on my quick access toolbar. And once you do it on one, it carries over to the others. So intraday, you have to do it separately for historical charts because there are two different types of charts. So my historical charts don't have as many, right? I don't do trading on my historical chart day, week, and month. I don't want to trade off of those charts. I trade off my minute charts. So I don't have any of my well, I don't have my trading turned on, enabled. I could actually remove the buy and sell button. I don't really need that on the, well, there would be an advantage if I wanted to trade off, but I don't need it. So basically I just have turn on and off candles, my switch between day, week, and month, and my period. And then I have Fibonacci and line. That's all I need on these charts. I don't need the others on the historical. Again, that's one of the differences on the Medved Trader platform is that there are two different types of charts. There's a intraday chart, which gives you your minutes. There's preset minutes, and then you can create custom ones. And then there's a historical, your daily, your weekly, your monthly. You can either do quarterly and yearly charts. On the minutes, you can go sub minute. So if you want to do a half minute, which we do right at the open, you just go to your custom frequency and then put 0.5 for half a minute. Or I could do a quarter minute if I wanted to. The half minute can be a little tricky. I don't stick with it very long, just usually the first 20 or 30 minutes, and then I go back to the 1 minute. The other great thing, and this is what I really love about Medved, is first of all, those of you that used to be old Wise traders, you only had 50 periods on Wise Trade max, 51. So you could see a couple of years of history, and that's about it. On this platform, my dog's snoring, sorry. You can go to, if you want to go to 100 or 200 or whatever, you can go further back. But the bigger thing is you can scroll. You can scroll back in time. So I can scroll back. This goes back to 1999. I can see what the cues were doing, along with my clear lines. I can see all the way back. And I can do that on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. Here's the monthly. And here's the daily. So very cool that we can do that. We couldn't do that before. You can do futures depending on your broker. I have TD Ameritrade. They give me data, futures data, so I can see all the different commodities and futures, which you'll see at the top of my chart. I always have the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ. I have crude futures. I have nat gas, gold, silver, and copper. I keep an eye on those. I wanted to point out something interesting for some of you that are pattern candlestick people. On the monthlies, on the S&P for July, we have a spinning top. We might be in for a pretty big pullback. I've discussed this with a couple of people, someone that brought it to my attention, and then we consulted with somebody that is a pretty good technician. They said basically whatever the next few weeks, whatever happens over the next few weeks, that will determine September and October. So if we see a pullback over the next few weeks, there's a high probability the market will have a very dramatic sell-off in September and October, based on that pattern, or that candle right at the top. So keep an eye on that. But right now it's still a strong trend. So we have a couple weeks to figure out what's going to happen before we know for sure if that's going to hold or not. We are catching a little bit of an end of the day bounce right now, which obviously we would expect to see some kind of end of the day pop here. What other questions? Any other specific questions I can answer? I appreciate what we've got so far. Any questions? All right. So typically what I look for on the cues, I'm looking at relationship to VWAP and pivots and Bollinger Bands, and then I'm looking for a confirmation with my clear lines. My clear lines typically gives we have an up and down arrow when the lines cross. So you'll notice right here where I put in this earlier, put in a long trade, we actually had an up arrow come in. That was when it was down at 189.66. It's now at 190.77. I already got out. Y'all saw that exit right before I came on air. But, you know, I just follow the charts. I look for typically support and resistance levels. You'll notice on the 3-minute, it was right down at a That was Fibonacci. I think that was a FS1 right here. I can't see because of the volume bar. I think that's Fibonacci support 1. So it kind of came down below it, hit the bottom of the Bollinger Band, bounced back up, went through that yeah, that's Fibonacci support 1, went back through that Fibonacci support 1. The clear lines crossed, and that right in here was an ideal entry to get long. So it ran up from that point. It ran up $1 before pulling back, and then it gave another long entry right in here, which was right at the 200 of the first 15 minute. So there were two good opportunities for anybody that was looking to go long to buy the Qs based on my indicator and the other indicators that I utilize. The 1 minute also behind it, you can see right in here, there was a 1 minute arrow. Let me circle that arrow right here. We already had a shift in the parabolic stop and reverse, so that had shifted from the top down below. So right at that spot where we got in, that was right when the parabolic stop and reverse shifted. Had a big move up, went to the 1618, rolled down. The exit was right here when it pulled back, just basically trailing a stop. That second entry, when it came right up back through the 200 right here, you had an arrow right there, an up arrow. So that was a move of roughly almost $1, 80 so cents. 10 contracts could have picked up 15 or 20 cents easily. That's what I'm trying to do now. Again, just one trade a day. That's about it. Not trying to knock it out of the park. Just trying to show people how you just need one trade a day with the Qs, and that's it. Kipp, how do you get to the historical charts from the minute chart? Just right click on any minute chart, right click, and then you'll see right here it says historical chart. I right click because there's a lot of other things on here. You can get a historical chart from here. You can get you can trade. You can open up a trade ticket from here. You can get level 2 quotes if your broker provides them from the chart. You can get the depth of market. I don't ever use depth of market. You can get a depth chart. I don't use these. If you want news for the Qs, you can click on the news and get any news stories related to the Qs. Now you need to make sure that your news is set up. You can go to your dashboard, go to settings, under data sources, news, make sure you have at least Yahoo Finance checked. If you have an account with TD Ameritrade or Ally, you'll want to check it, but on TD, you're going to have to go onto their website and sign up for the news. It's free, but there's a place on the website under your preferences to request that. If you have interactive brokers, you can get their news. If you subscribe to Stockwatch or The Fly, those are paid services, you can get their news as well. And of course, the option chains. Research is going to open up Yahoo Finance and take you to the Yahoo Finance page. Raw data, that's I guess all the trades from the day. That's all the raw. You can print if you want to print out the chart. You can share it. If you want to share it, you can send it to through email, through text, through Twitter. That's a really cool feature. Sometimes if you see a kind of a spike that looks out of normal, you can also clear the spikes, highest and lowest points. Yeah, it's pretty simplistic. That, again, one of the great things about this platform, it's a little bit of a learning curve initially, but once you get it, it's so simplistic and there's so many great bells and whistles and cool things that you can do with the platform. And I've touched on some of the other aspects of the platform, the scanners, the alerts. You know, you can create, if you want to do a line alert, if you go to draw, there's something called a alert line, and you can just draw a line on the chart. And then if it crosses that line, you'll get an alert. If I want to move it, I'll move it real close. Just I want to see if we get our alert. I think I have it set. The alert line's great, or you can set price alerts when you're watching 5 or 6 stocks and you're waiting at, you know, if you're waiting to get to a certain level, like you see support and resistance or pivots or something that you're waiting for, whether you're in the position or thinking about getting in, you can set those alerts so it'll notify you when it reaches that level. Great, now it's going the opposite direction. So let's put one on the bottom side. Oops. Oh, see, alert. Cross the trend line going up past 190.68. So and then you can trade. You can click trade from right here and it'll open a trade ticket, which is even cooler. And then you want to delete it, you can delete it, and then it's gone. Yeah, again, really great stuff with the platform. So many wonderful things you can do with it. The alerts, you can go to right here, add an alert for Qualcomm. So you can do that by right clicking and you can select what type of alert you want. Trailing stop, buy, sell, moving up or down a certain amount, price above or below, and you can create these multiple alerts on multiple stocks, which is awesome. Good questions today. Just got a couple more minutes to go. Anything else? Any other questions about trading the Qs? Hey, you're welcome, Ann. She said, thanks so much, Kip. I learned a lot today. Nice. Getting a little pushed down right now, going into the close. So you look where we kept bumping up against. That was the 14140. of the first 15-minute. So that's a 14140 is an institutional Fibonacci level. So we hit it here. Well, we almost hit it here. We got close to it on that bounce. We went through it and then failed, and then we tested it and failed. And now we're coming back down. We might be in for a little end of the day sell-off going into the close. I would be curious. It won't be a good sign if we close at or near lows. It won't be a good sign for those that are long. It'd be a great sign for those that are short. But if we push down a dollar here at the end of the day, it's going to be pretty hairy. Ancestor, are you trading Q options now? Yeah, I am in a. I wonder. Let me try something here. I'm going to try something. Option chain for. Oh, let's do this first. Trading. Option chain for QQQ. I'm curious if we'll see this on the chart. Let's do. Hold on. Intraday charts for. Because I didn't know if this position would show up on there or not. Hold on, trading. Oh. So it shows right here. You can see where I bought it. Oh, you know what I probably need to do? Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, it shows right here where I bought it. It doesn't show me. It doesn't put the capsule up to show the P&L on the options. I'll have to ask the Medved guys why it doesn't do that. But it does show the position there. But yeah, I'm in the 194 puts, tomorrow's puts for 69 cents. They're currently $4.09. Thank you. Yeah, that was the trade that I called out this morning in the webinar. I called out a short on the Qs put. I said it was a half position, five puts, 194s for. It was a $345 trade. That $345 is currently worth almost 2,000. So I'm up almost 500% on that trade right now. And I got one more day. Again, kind of got really lucky on it. Actually, I'm now up 555%. $2,200 value on a $345 investment. It's not bad. Yeah, right, Pippin. He said, thank Trump for his tariffs. Yeah, I mean, I admit that was a blind squirrel getting a great, giant, huge nut. That was pretty lucky. All right, guys. I want to thank you all for watching today. Again, this session is twice weekly, every Tuesday, Thursday, 3 o'clock Eastern. You can use the same link every time. This is also posted on the, training session will go up on our YouTube page. You just go to equity-alerts.com, click the YouTube link, and you will find my training sessions that posted there. And if you have questions, you want to learn more about clear lines or about equity-alerts.com, you can email me, kip@equity-alerts.com. You can call or text me, 972-841-8886. Again, thank you for attending today. And some of you guys, I'll see you in the morning in the webinar. The rest of you, hope to see you again next week on Tuesday. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.